Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson streaming live in Kikau na Sauti, also at Brother Benson Media. I'm joined this morning with my brother Makobura. Makobura Barigani.
Good morning.
Mm,
Doing good.
yeah,
Oh, I know this side it's morning. I don't know whether that side it's night or what.
it is morning, Buana.
Okay. So let me say good morning. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are grateful.
Okay. That's okay. We are also good. Just uh, hali ya kawaida ya kupambana. Aha,
Yeah,
ile watu wanapambana, wanataka kutafuta riziki.
very well. That is the norm
You,
of
you, you,
today's life.
you are not Seventh-day Adventist,
No, I'm Roman.
Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay. Makobura, there's an observation that I don't know whether you'd agree with me on this observation, especially to uh, the rich people, on how the African traditional way of life has been modernized, especially, would I say, to those who tend to be wealthy. Uh, Yesterday, we had Bonnie Alole was paying his last respects to his wife. The kids were paying their last respect to their mother and the relatives and everyone who were there. Everybody was paying relative, you know. But when when you look at Bonnie Alwale's home, it's a big homestead with houses for his women, and we have to give it to Bonnie Alwale, the kind of houses that he has built to, or he has constructed to these women. They are very palatial homes, you would see, and a very large compound which depicts a modernized, I would say, the African traditional in a modern way, because that's how, especially when you revisit the Luo's community on how Dala used to be, and he had a dome, or and those in Luo we used to call it Simba. You know, it brought that the African traditional way of life in a modernized way. I don't know whether you realize that. I don't know whether you've thought of that.
Yeah, I saw it, and I also saw even the structures how they are built.
Mhm.
It reminds me of those days when we were young, when we taken to Kisumu
Yeah.
museums, and we were being taken through the structures that resembled what the old people used to have.
Hmm.
I think what I say in Bonnie Halwale's place is depicting the exact Africanism,
And
because
mhm.
there is even this house that is partly in the middle, and it
That's
is being
Simba.
no, there's one that is built
Yeah.
that is looking like a king's house. It was, I saw quite a number of people comparing it with the museum
Uh-huh.
of Jaramogi,
Yes.
and the structure how it's built, it's for like a king,
Yeah.
and it is being said that that is now like his personal house, and then now the palatial houses are placed in different sites. I think
Hmm.
it's a good thing in the sense that it reminds us of our Africanism. It reminds us of the cultures that used to be there in those days. Even though the view of the people and the
Mhm,
thinking has changed towards polygamy.
mhm.
But what Bonnie Halwale was simply, or has been simply trying to do, is partly to confirm to people and the naysayers that they've been there and that they're doing not so bad.
Makobura, I I've been very keen follower of especially the prominent leaders, and I want to bring you back. Remember what when Onyonka lost his mother. The same, though we did not see the homestead, but we saw the family of Onyonka and the children. You know, and this one also brings me to Cyrus Jirongo, the family and the children. Then, when you go back to the African traditional society, um, there's what we called wealth and poverty. You know, poverty was was not in African vocabulary. I tend to believe, you might correct me if I'm wrong, because when you look at the definition of poverty, poverty is defined in terms of monetary value. That's how you define poverty. If you're living before the, I mean, like if you live below the poverty, you know that you do not have enough money that can accommodate you. That is poverty. But when you look at wealth in the African setup, the wealth was one, the big chunk of land, the animals, the children, and the wife that you marry. So those are during those days, those are what were considered wealth. But now when you come to contemporary society of today, you find that uh, the rich people or the rich class tend to still stick to the African traditional way of life, but they are bringing it in a very modernized way as compared to the poor. So you find that the poor, especially, tend to run away from it, that they are, like they say, that they are exposed to the new world. But when you look at the rich, especially the likes of Boni Alwale, the likes of Onyonka, the likes of Jirongo, and many others that who are practicing, you find that that is very common with them. Or that observation, is it existing? Or I'm just
You know,
I'm too much.
what is happening is, part of these norms, or part of these cultures, and part of these beliefs,
Hmm.
some of them has been changed or forced to be abandoned
Hmm.
by the times. The reason being is, they with the just like you said, that it is being done well by by the rich,
Yes.
but the poor are finding it tough.
Mm-hmm.
The level of high cost of living and high economic livings has made it tough
Mm-hmm.
for majority of people to make that decision, because it is seen today
Yeah.
as a liability. It is seen today
Mm-hmm.
as something that is not easy to manage. It is not. People are looking at it in the financial aspect,
Okay.
because remember, when you get into such, then the issue of kids, the issue of management, it's like having uh, you know several cars,
Yeah.
which you have to ensure that they are also well taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, all those comes with financial cost. So what is becoming tough for the poor is they are finding it a little bit tough to make that decision, because
Yeah.
they don't see the sense of them stretching toward to ensure that they accommodate, or to ensure that they financially
Mm-hmm.
manage that particular
Lifestyle.
lifestyle. Yeah. So that is the reason why today,
Mm-hmm.
majority of people who are getting into it are the rich. The poor people are seeing it as an expense, a serious expense that
Mm.
you'll only get into. when you have the capability of taking care. So that is how different it has taken. But while majority, you'll find that there
Mhm.
is a number that still looks at
Mhm.
at it as something that is good,
Mhm.
something that they followed, something that has been there. But majority are afraid of getting in because
Of
uh, the
of fine,
financial aspect, and
fine.
also
Uh-huh.
remember, there is also the issue of Christianity that has also come ventured in. So you
Mhm.
find that a majority of people who still believe in deeply in Christ
Mhm.
also see it as what I can call going against the beliefs.
Oh yeah.
Because, for example, if you ask me, in my church where I also go,
Mhm.
it is not viewed as a positivity thing for someone's life.
Mhm.
It is viewed as going against the
The
commandments of God. So partly that is also the biggest issue. So you find that some of them gets into it or try getting into it, but then
Mhm.
the moment they come out of light,
Yeah.
then they find it unnecessary. When
Mm.
they start viewing the bigger view,
Okay.
they look at it as something that is not worth living. Yeah, so there are so many aspects.
Yeah, that's, I agree with you. First of all, I would say is a result of Christianity that could have also played part, because like uh, uh, people who have given their life to Jesus and are adhering to the commandments and to the teaching of Jesus, they, you should not do that. Again, you talked of about financial constraint, especially that there's so many people who cannot afford, especially what 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 these others are doing, because the people that have, a few examples that I've mentioned to you, these are leaders that have been in the limelight, they've been in the position, they have business, and financially they are stable, and they can really um, finance or fund or live comfortably with it. And even if you look at their children, they do have not less than 10, you know and you look at the kind of system education that we have, and and they go to good school, by the way, and they perform well as compared to other families, especially those who are living below the poverty line, who, even if you have two children, is still giving you a headache too, or is still giving you that challenges on how you're going to take them to school. So I've been observing it very keenly, and I'm saying that this is uh, a modernized a modernized African traditional way, especially for those who have the financial power and who can do that. And something that also I've realized, that the society usually accept them. You find that the society does not complain about them, especially for me and you, especially if we do that, because like we do not have such finance, or we do not have that stature. You find that when we do, the society will complain about us. I don't know, because like when you go to the comments, especially, you will find that the comments that are coming are positive. You know, they praise the family for what they're doing, but I don't know why. But if you are just like a nobody and you try, internet will be burning. Itakuwa inachoma huko. Have you realized that too?
Yeah, I think, like, I can just say that people's view have also changed. People's thinking, like, I think today it is being seen as something for the rich. That is what I can say. Because
Mm,
today, if you see somebody on who is not financially stable getting into that,
yeah.
even the people outside will start coming out to start judging how
Yes.
he's not going to manage,
Eh,
how he's inviting problems.
yes.
Yeah, so there are so many, but I think that is a topic that one of these days we can try have and invite the likes of our good friends Eric Ayaga
Yeah,
to come.
actually, Eric Ayaga can be a very good candidate for this topic because is also somebody who says that he's rooted in the cultural, uh, is somebody who is rooted in cultural beliefs and so and it's something that one time we should have a conversation, especially when we're looking at the traditional and the contemporary society that we have, and how roles have really changed, especially with the wealthy and with those who are living below the poverty line, and how the lines have been drawn, Makobura. And it was quite much interesting. Like, it's something that I was just thinking about it, and I said that maybe this called the reversed roles and all that. Anyway, that was that. Makobura, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we are also welcoming everybody who is watching us. This is Kikao na Sauti, where we discuss issues to do with politics. Makobura, I don't know how true it is. Yesterday, Rigathi Gachagua was at Ngeno's place, the late Joanna Ngeno place. But this morning, I'm seeing a post. But sometimes I'm very, very cautious, especially that there was one of his brothers, the elder brother, who was sick, and he was in hospital in the Eldoret. And I'm told that Rigathi Gachagua promised to pay for his hospital bills, but this morning I'm told he has passed away. I don't know whether you've seen those posts. I'm not very sure because I
Yeah,
usually,
I also saw that post this morning,
yeah,
and just like you're saying, I've seen that Rigathi's brother passed on a day after
yeah,
Rigathi Gachagua.
yeah, the Ngeno, I mean Ngeno's brother, and he was sick
Yeah,
in Eldoret, and I think like Rigathi Gachagua, what I heard from social media, I cannot say that this is something that is confirmed, that Rigathi Gachagua had promised to settle out the bills that were in hospital. So this morning, the news that came is that the brother is no more. That is sad.
yeah, that's a very sad thing, and I'm not so sure of what really was going on, but all I can say is that especially there, we are currently in an environment where people are doing politics. We are in
Yeah.
an environment where campaigns are going on.
Oh, yeah.
When such news come, people would try. Some of them would try link it to the visit of
Yeah. Yeah.
Rigathi Gachagua. Some, people would view it differently.
Mm.
But it's life. Only God knows, and only God understand what really was there, because I was actually trying to look at some of the comments, and some people are simply saying, "Oh, it's bad." I don't know. Rigathi has bad. What I
And
saw some. Yeah. So, and sometimes I don't know why people reason in that manner. Even
uh,
if we are in a political environment, people are doing campaigns. I
mhm,
think sometimes we need to be sober enough to
mhm.
speak about issues
Yeah.
as which really makes sense, because coming out to give such kind of comments would
Mhm,
simply then take us back to where we came from. Remember, people believed sometimes back of
mm,
those issues of bad men and all those kind of things. If you start bringing them now
mm.
because you are getting into a political environment,
Yes.
then I don't think it makes any sense, but it simply erodes the personalities of individuals.
Okay. All right. Makubura, thank you so much once again. We are here. Let's greet this our gentleman here. We have Kwach Moto Kubwa. Asante sana kujiunga na sisi pale Facebook. Tunakushukuru sana. Pia hello Benson, hello my brother, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. Makubura, the news of Homa Bay has been on the headlines for since Sunday, and the incidences, the scenes that we saw were very horrific, and uh, uh, it was bad. But yesterday, the CS for Interior, there's a video showing CS Interior. Maybe you can let me try to look for it, and we can play it and at least understand and ask what is happening. What is the CS saying? Eh?
I
It,
saw that clip
mm,
for the cabinet secretary in charge of interior.
uh,
I think I think we made the people of Kenya made I mean the president made the worst point. The worst thing appointing Mr. Murkomen as the cabinet secretary in charge of interior. Or suppose he didn't make that particular decision,
mhm,
then I personally do not understand how this government operates. I don't understand how they see humanity. I don't understand how they view certain things, more so security matters.
mhm,
I don't understand even the language that they are using to express themselves. Because from what I understand, a leader should behave a little
mhm,
bit different, a little bit better, a little bit accommodative, a little bit, you
mhm.
know, human.
Yeah.
If I saw Murkomen speaking, Murkomen speaks like they're in a competition. It was done in, there was insecurity in the year when Kenyatta took over. There was insecurity when Moi came.
Mhm.
There was insecurity when Kibaki. Those are the things that Murkomen is speaking about. And people have lost life.
Uh-huh.
People have died.
Mhm,
Things are not good.
mhm,
Insecurity is getting worse.
mhm,
Goonism is getting too much.
mm.
I ask myself, Kwani, where are we? We
Okay.
can play it.
All right. Thank you so much, Makubura. Let me play this, and at least we can get a glimpse, and at least we we analyze this. Okay, let me play it.
Under this administration 4 years than ever before. In fact, when President Uhuru came to government, we had many challenges. Al-Shabaab, terrorists walichoma hapa wakatusumbua Garissa, wapi other places. This country now is very safe. Kwanza tulipata watu wanalia all over Kerio Valley kwa sababu ya banditry. But we did not only succeeded in containing banditry, but tumefanya kitu yenye haijawahi fanywa kwa Kenya in a long time. Tumesanya bunduki yenye imepita saizi 2000 na mtu tulisukuma wakora mpaka mtu analete bunduki yake mwenyewe, anatafuta pasta kumwambia nisaidie nifanye namna hii. This country is safe. You don't see the robberies that were all over. You will have a challenge here and there. There will be challenges here and there, but we are able to manage it. Those who are trying to say that this country is in a crisis because of goons are liars.
Okay, Makobura. Let's pick it from there. This is what Murkomen says, that those who are talking about goons, that those were liars. I don't know where the CS, whether he resides in Kenya or he resides somewhere else. There are videos that we've seen. Remember when people were having a discussion in a church about finance bill, there are people who came and attacked them. See what has happened in with Rigathi Gachagua. We've seen the Linda Mwananchi, what happened to Ososti and all that, and even what happened to Homa Bay. The CS is saying those people are lying. So maybe what would you say about that?
The same surprise that you're having is the one that I've also been having.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the cabinet secretary in charge of security,
Mm.
the one that we are currently seeing on our screen.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate that Murkomen keeps making these remarks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in these times, and with the things that are happening around, with the knowledge that the young people has,
Mm-hmm.
and again, with how sensitive
Yeah.
the citizens are currently,
Mm-hmm.
I think Murkomen should not be making these kind of remarks.
Yeah.
Because these are the same things. If you remember Gen Z is coming out,
Yeah.
go to street, they were speaking about similar things. It is like you are seeing something happening on a broad daylight and then you deny.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing something happening, unauliza, did you see that? And then you simply say, no, I didn't see it. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing. I've not. What have you seen? You even start beating this person that he's telling you that something has happened, and yet there's something. This is
Mm.
how common is behaving, and I
And,
think
and, and
it's
it's so sad because the other day, Marco Bura, the president, was talking about like the goon should be, the president was condemning about this goonism. And here Murkomen is telling. And I think like when Tirargei, the senator for Nandi, usually talks about incompetency, especially incompetent that CS Murkomen. And this one is demoralizing even the police. Yeah. Because like, anyway, let me continue playing this.
There are people who are now, kuna watu wana create a scenario kwamba ni kama kuna crisis ya hii Kenya. Wanasiasa kwa Kenya a 0.0001%. Hawafiki 2,000 out of 50 million Kenyans. But they want to make Kenya to become like it's a crisis when they don't get what they want. Kama huyu Gachagua anaongea kuhusu goons every day. Kama yeye angekuwa anatafuta kiti, angeongea mambo ya goons. Angeongea wapi? Na hata ile branding anajaribu hapa ni kama kwamba goons ilianza na serikali ya William Ruto. 1995 kijana wa Malwa akisukumana na Raila mpaka Raila akaingia chini ya meza huko Thika, hiyo ilikuwa goons ama sio goons? Orengo 97 hata 98 99 2000 ikienda university. Orengo alikuwa na goons yake iliongozwa na mtu anaitwa Karl Marx.
Yes.
Walikuwa wanapikana throughout kwa town hapo Nairobi wakingangana na Raila. Hapo juzi mnataka kudanganya sisi kwamba hatujui. When Rais 2021 alienda ku campaign huko Kieni, salilingwa na mawe na goons. Tulipotoka hapo nilikuja ku campaign hapa Nakuru. Wakati tulikuwa na campaign ya hapa London Ward, si tulipigwa na goons. Na wakati rais alikuwa anaenda Kondele hapo akiwa vice president akiomba kura, si alipigwa na goons. Mimi nilikuwa waziri. 95 mimi nilikuwa waziri. 1997 nilikuwa waziri. 2021 nilikuwa waziri. Si Matiang'i alikuwa hapo. Kwani Matiang'i alikuwa amefunga macho? Hii Gachagua 2024 wakati alienda Kayole na kusanya goons kwenda kuiba mbuzi ya Uhuru. Hakuwa anajua goons ni mbaya, ni zaidi amejua goons ni mbaya kwa Kenya. Now he is trying to create a crisis in the country that there is a crisis of goonism. No, there is no crisis in Kenya. The crisis that is in this country is the bankruptcy of ideas of politicians who are unable to campaign and they go and sign goons to fight themselves and they want to make it a national crisis. There is no national crisis. Kenya is safe and we must focus. Hii kitu ya sayote you expect. Nimeona watu ati Murkomen has not talked about goons. Has not talked about goons. If this goons was a problem of common mwananchi, I could say it. Lakini these politicians 0.0001%. They want to make us to leave the work we are doing to only talk about goons. Please stop that conversation. The IG is doing his job. PS is doing his job. I'm doing my job. Kenya is safe. For politicians, mwende muitane kwa bunge, mpigane ngumi kwa hapo, msilete kuja kupigana na wananchi kwa sehemu hii, ati ndio mcreate crisis na kusema ati Murkomen sijui IG must resign. IG alikuwa pale wakati ulikuwa unapanga ati sijui vijana yako. No. There is no crisis in Kenya. Kenya is safe. Stop hyping. Stop the hyperbole. Stop creating a crisis that is not there. It's the figment of your imagination. Kenya is safe and we will continue being safe. Wewe ukijua Homa Bay kuna mtu amepanga goons. Na
So look at that statement. Wewe kama unajua Homa Bay kuna mtu amepanga goons. That statement alone, it tells you that there was somebody who had already made his mind to have guns in Homa Bay. But something to Waziri. Uh, the people who lost their lives in Homa Bay, you know, you know, Marco Buddha, sometimes it's so painful even to talk because sometimes politics, because like what you're trying to do, it's unfair, especially to the people of Homa Bay. This is something that everybody has been talking about, even including the good senator of Homa Bay that took the responsibility and that apologized that that is not Homa Bay. You know, we are not looking at who brought who, but we have to condemn in strongest term possible of how the life that is lost, the property, the destruction, the hotels that were invaded by these people. And now this is the CS for Interior who should come and tell us that how far the investigation has gone and who are responsible. So what do you even, how will you even trust the report that the police will be bringing, Makobura? Let me
Police washakuambia kwamba kuna mtu amepanga goons. Why are you going there? Siwende nyumbani upange mkutano mwingine yenye haina goons. Why are you forcing yourself? Number 2, huyu Orengo na Babu Owino na hiyo timu
Makobura, sometimes is so sad, especially and I think this one it is even making matter worse to the president, because like how do you talk like that? And you know what happens before you contribute to Makobura, in the administration of President William Ruto, because the people that President William Ruto has employed, they speak, they should speak the policy of the administration, and they should always make sure that everything is achieved. But if the CS is talking like this, where does the blame go to? Maybe contribute on that line.
I think amongst the cabinet secretaries in William Samoei Ruto's government,
Yeah,
I think the worst mistake he made was electing Murkomen,
appointing him.
appointing a Murkomen as the cabinet secretary in charge of, security.
uh,
Mr. Murkomen is clueless about this department. He does not understand. That is the truth of the matter.
mm,
He behaves like a spanner boy who doesn't really has his own brain. He behaves like somebody who does not even live in Kenya.
mhm,
So let me ask you, when he speaks and he says that this is a problem of the political class,
mhm.
the people who died in Omavi, the people who are currently still in hospital, the people,
Who are nursing wounds,
are they
they,
the political class?
those who are maimed.
Well, what is the sole role of cabinet secretary in charge of security? If they knew goons were going to be there, he's telling the political class that you guys were not supposed to go there.
Yeah,
What is their role? What is their role? That is
and
something that I'm also asking myself.
and
What did
another
they do?
and another
They
thing,
have the
Marco.
intelligence, the NIS, and all those kind of departments.
Mm.
Did they even? Eh,
Makobura, you know even what? This is my argument. My point of argument is that I'm not supporting either the group of Gladys Wanga and the group of James Orengo and Babu. If indeed you care so much for the security of the people, and you've gotten an intelligence that okay, there's somebody who has organized the goons, especially that you are going to have a meeting and the goons has been organized. What is the role for you as as the somebody in charge of security? You have to make sure that, because what does the constitution say in the very first place, that okay, each and every person in Kenya is allowed to have freedom everywhere, freedom of association, freedom of speech. But like, how are you going to give hope, especially for those who are now nursing wounds? Because like, you could be the last hope for them and give them surety that whatever happened, and anybody who might have committed these atrocities or will be brought to book, and give them that hope. So tell me, what hope can that person from Homer Bay that lost billions of shillings in his hotel will get, especially if a CS is talking like this? Tell me how that woman, or even those families that lost their mother, during this? How? What hope are they going? Will they get the justice if the CS is talking like this? Yeah, you know, and maybe Murkomen is doing this for the vote purposes. But Makobura, to me, I'm always convinced that time is coming that the truth will find itself.
These people forget so fast.
Mhm.
This Murkomen, the young people had a serious problem with him. And I remember him coming out to even apologize and say that, oh, I'm sorry if it is this. I'm not going to put on the watches or the what. I wonder why they've forgotten that whatever happened sometimes back can happen again. I wonder why they forget that the people has the power.
Mm.
I wonder why they forget that, as much as they are making these comments, they're the
Yeah.
leaders of the people.
Hmm.
I wonder why they forget so fast that the young people pointed out quite a number of things that they wanted the government to look into.
Hmm.
I wonder why they have simply forgotten the fact that the lifestyle that they're having, the comments, the view as the senior most leaders, the people are not really happy with. I wonder why they've forgotten that. I
And
wonder why they should talk about the most important issues that are affecting the people, the normal wananchi.
yeah.
Well, they might have problems as the political leaders,
Mhm.
but what are the effects on the people on the ground? The
Yeah.
people on the ground are the ones who are being used by these people. So these people should be stopped. If true, he wants to come out to say that it is a problem with the political only, then stop these political people not to use the young people. Stop these political people then not to pay the goons. Let them go fight then in the parliament as he wants to put it.
You see,
Don't let them fight out of out of the parliament. If that is the reasoning.
if you're very keen, you're a very good student of politics, you would know the reason why he's doing that. But you're trying to, because like right now, for instance, when you go to the Luo Nyanza, to be very specific, there's this tug of war between all these politicians, because one, they are fighting to inherit Raila Odinga's base. Basically, what Orengo is fighting for, what Wanga is fighting for, and all that, they are putting all demarcation and territory. It is about like who is going to inherit Raila Amolo Odinga's base. That is one. Secondly, they are also looking at, as a community, who is going to be this person who is going to speak for us. That is something that we have to agree. But you're doing it for political purposes, not knowing that the people who have been maimed, or the people who are bearing the pain, are the people of Homa Bay, not you. So if you're doing it for political purposes, it's okay. Nobody can stop you from that. But remember, there are people who are in pain in those areas, and power is transient, Makobura. And
And remember, he speaks to the citizens with
it speaks
this
to,
kind of arrogance,
when
with
you go
that
to the
kind
comment
of
section, especially if you want to know and how, go. I think sometimes they read those comment section. The comment section, they are very negative, especially on what he has said. This is what I can say, Makobura. At the end of the day, and I think also he should be a good student of history, because the first casualty, especially during the handshake government, when there was a BBI, the first casualty was Murkomen. Murkomen, Susan Kihika, Hadan Duale. Who else was that? Kindiki. You know, they were the first casualty. Remember when the handshake came? They were the first casualties. And even the President William Ruto, but then when he was a deputy, President William Ruto had it rough time during that handshake government. And we spoke about those. And that one even made us question the office of the deputy president. Because, like, if you differ, because there are days that deputy president would not be even recognized in the protocol. And we raised those issues. So they would have been a good student of history. How many times did we see people like Ndindi Nyoro when they were supporting the deputy president William Ruto, when they were coming from radio station? I think he was coming from what, media, one of the media stations. Yeah, he was arrested.
Citizen TV.
Yeah, Rigathi Gachagua too. His account was frozen. Remember those days? you know so and these governments, they come and go. So you should just treat Kenyans, especially the people of Homa Bay, that we solve this issue of good. It doesn't show a good picture for the country, and it doesn't show how politically, we usually say as a country, Kenya, that democratically we are we are far much ahead of our peers, especially our neighbors Uganda, Tanzania. But if with all that credit that we are giving ourselves, Makobura, that we still witness what happened in Homa Bay. Then after that,
You know,
you get the
Kenya,
person in
Kenya
charge
can
of
be,
security talking like
from
that.
my own observation, Kenya
Mhm.
can be one of the best countries in Africa.
Yeah,
The people are willing, the people are working towards that.
yeah.
But we have few political elements
Hmm.
that are taking us back, that are making it tough for Kenya to progress. And I wonder how, when they sit down with themselves, I wonder how the kind of questions they ask themselves. The likes of Murkomen, truth be told, are the people who are barring the development of these nations. They're the people who are barring the security of these nations. They're the people who are holding Kenya hostage. People wants to go forward. People wants to do positive things. People wants to associate. You know, is they've been given opportunity by the people.
Yeah.
They're being paid a lot of money, moving with various luxurious machines around, but they care not even 0%.
Mm.
They care not
Very
even
less.
0% on the lives of the people that have
Mm.
given them the opportunity.
Hmm.
Most of times I do ask myself, why do they look like they are living in their own world? These people have the kiburi ile yenye huyu jamaa used to speak about. Hii yake ni too much. It cannot even be explained. Look at
Ah,
even the tone, and Murkomen is that human being that when you can just read from his tone and you can just know that kiburi yake imepanda. And that is
anyway,
the truth of the matter.
Mak-
So
eh,
no, this person should not continue being cabinet secretary in charge of in security, because he's people are going to die in this nation. People are going to have the worst nation if he's not changed.
remember
President
what
can do something else. There are quite
uh,
a number of people.
uh,
Mm.
remember
At
what he
least
said.
Basti area, this is worse. I think Murkomen is the worst. I've said it and I will say it. If you wake me up anytime, I will still tell you. He's using the wrong language. He's using the wrong characters. He's not a sober leader. He's a
Mm,
leader who is very much obsessed with power. He's a leader who cannot solve the problems of the people. He's a leader who likes competing with fellow opponents. He's a leader who wants to show others that he's the one who is in power. That is
mm.
not leadership, as we
Anyway,
call it. Is
okay, Makobura, it's okay. So with us, we are just pointing out to those who say like, actually, with that was we were not expecting that, especially from CS Murkomen at especially what happened in Homa Bay, because in Homa Bay, their relative of us, some of them are victims of what happened. These are very innocent souls, and even if there was no rally, and you know that from his from what he's saying, kama watu wameorganize goons, it means that you acknowledge that that goon exists, or that goonism exists, and you are the CS, and you're saying on what you've done. And if you're given opportunity, if President Uhuru Kenyatta and his administration, the Moi and everyone, did not do it, and you've gotten an opportunity, why can't you do it to make it better? Because they failed. So they will judge you on that and say that, when it comes to Gunism, that has been a menace in our society, with the administration of President William Ruto, with Murkomen leading the Ministry for Interior, for Internal Security. You've managed to kill this issue. You are doing
which
a
kind,
service to Kenya.
which kind of a leader justifies negativity with the currents, negativities which were operated in 90s, in more than 20 years. He comes out and then starts relating what had happened in 20, 30 years ago, saying that they were goons. That does that warrant that 40 years later, 50 years later, goons are,
Mm.
should be permitted. That is backwardness in
Oh,
thinking, something that
that
should not be allowed in this society.
that,
That
that
is why I keep saying we need to
Mhm,
be very realistic and very
mhm,
truthful, to
mhm,
the extent of pointing out, calling it as it is.
mhm.
Murkomen coming out on a live TV in front of camera to start telling us that in 1997 Rahila had goons who went to fight with uh, Wamalwa, as we were not there, or even if we were there, does it inatusaidia na nini? Let him solve the
Mm.
problems that are here in the insecurity. Young people are dying. People are
Yep.
being marked every
Mhm,
now and then. The
mhm.
streets are not safe.
Yeah.
Goons are getting into hotels. Goons
Mhm.
are getting into people's houses. Goons are killing people. You walk around, people are just wakiona people who are dressed funnily, carrying things. Their lives, they're not happy. And somebody comes telling us, oh, Raila had goons, oh, Raila sijui alienda wapi Thika. Hizo ni ujinga, sisi hatutaki kusikiza hizo. Let him
I-
address the issues that are affecting the people of Kenya. If he cannot do so, the best thing he should do is simply to keep quiet and not appear or reappear in televisions. Let him
mm.
just sit in his home or in his office and focus in his with his life and his
and and
things. Let
and
him not come out to
and and
provoke of
and,
Kenya.
and Makubura, I'm waiting to maybe from today, today Saturday until Monday. I'm waiting to see what the broad-based, especially government, the broad-based MPs are going uh, to say about the comments of or the what was said by CS Kipchumba Murkomen, especially in the country. So that is that. That was our first discussion. Makubura, the second discussion that we want to look very quickly is about Edwin Sifuna. Yesterday, as we said, Boni Alwale was giving the last respect for his wife, and the politics took the center stage. We saw when Edwin Sifuna arrived um, in Boni Alwale's home, there was a good reception for him. Um, what can you say about the reception that Edwin Sifuna got? And this one comes after a horrific journey that they went through in Homa Bay. I saw it was written Yemen, Afghanistan, and all that.
Yeah, Edwin Sifuna is a young politician who has been accepted
Mm,
by quite a number of regions. That is
yeah.
something that we cannot
Mm,
deny. And he's getting attraction, is
yeah.
being, people are getting attracted to him,
Yes.
regions are getting attracted to him. And being that he comes from a background of Western,
Mm-hmm.
quite a number of Western leaders have also acknowledged the fact that Edwin Sifuna has risen
Mm-hmm.
and is being accepted, while others are still in the other side
Mm-hmm.
of the government.
Yeah.
Edwin Sifuna is having quite a number of good following on the opposition side,
Mm-hmm.
and we are seeing him getting treated as a king.
Yeah.
Remember, the king is normal. Raila
Mm-hmm.
Amolo Odinga was the king of opposition.
Mm-hmm.
With this absence, we've had quite a number of young, um, you know, how is it called, princess
Yeah.
coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There are quite a number, and remember, all these princes who are coming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the princes who are coming. It is the people who has the power to give them a chance,
Yes.
and Edwin is getting the nod of the people. That
Okay.
is a fact.
They are
The fact that
okay.
he has received the nod of the people,
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing this in different ways. We are seeing this in how these fellow leaders are handling him. We are
Mm-hmm.
seeing how he's also handling himself. We
Mm-hmm.
are seeing more so how the citizens are also handling or viewing and even receiving him.
Mm-hmm.
And from all that, we can simply say that he's the one who is being pointed, who is raising his head above his peers.
Okay.
and it's good for him.
All right. I want to focus more so, especially on Western Kenya, because there are few things that I noticed, especially during that burial, especially concerning Sifuna. One, he had a special chair, and the special chair was the name was written on it, and it was like a king's chair, the way that you say that, and this one was coming immediately after what happened in Homa Bay. To me, that was very significant, especially in politics, especially the committee and maybe those who are in charge of that. They were sending a strong message, especially to the people of Homa Bay, that the person that you are targeting, he's not just a mere person. This is somebody that is a king based on the chair that he was given. So that is, you can also speak about that. Another thing that also I noticed about, or you can talk about that, then I can bring another angle.
Okay, yeah. So just like I was saying, Edwin
Yeah,
Sifuna has raised his head above. When in a compound or in a house or in a
yeah,
home
yes,
where there are quite a number of figures
yeah,
or young people who are trying to raise their heads above others,
mhm,
it is normal that you'll find fighting. It is normal that you'll find disagreements.
mhm,
It is normal that you'll find attacks, and
yeah,
especially
mhm,
when one of them is getting the nod of the people. So that is what Edwin Sifuna is finding
yeah,
himself in. He
mhm,
has raised his head. Quite
mhm,
a number of people have seen his head raised high. So some
mhm,
of them will be uncomfortable.
mhm,
It is normal with humans
mhm. Okay,
because they feel that he's going to take it all. But well, if it is God's time that you take it all, no one
then
can stop it.
yeah,
And
thank
that
you.
is why quite a number of leaders, some of them do not and have not accepted the fact that
Mhm.
he raised his head above, and it has been noticed by quite a number of people. They are doing an analysis.
Yeah,
So,
you
what we saw in Homa Bay, for example,
mhm.
it was done by the politicians who are on the opposite side. Opposite side to mean that, remember, Edwin is in the opposition.
Yeah,
So, those who are in support of the government,
mhm,
partly, some of
mhm,
them associated
yeah,
with the negativities that happened. And
mhm,
it is on record. You
yeah,
saw the remarks of Opondo Kaluma, you saw the remarks of the governor, you saw the remarks of an MCA. All those
yes,
things did confirm that they were not comfortable with this young prince
mhm,
who has been acknowledged by the people.
yeah,
So, Edwin again going to this burial,
yes,
it was, I think, the planners of this burial, I mean, the
mhm,
committee also, they
mhm,
just wanted to acknowledge the fact that, well, he might not have been fully accepted on that other side. He might not
yeah,
have been acknowledged. He might be a threat to them. But
yeah,
they wanted to just confirm that, well, he's still recognized. He has power over here.
okay.
And that is
And
what was happening.
I agree with you. And this also portrays that the Western Kenya are preparing Stifuna to be a president based on how they are treating him. And another thing that I really noticed was about the protocol. If you can see back into that video, is that Bonnie Alwale spoke, then Othosi came, then invite, like the Wamalwa was invited. Then after that, it was Edwin Sifuna. Like Edwin Sifuna is the person who spoke last. It means that after the speech of Edwin Sifuna, there was no any other leader to speak. And at some point, Edwin Sifuna was saying that they're waiting for Natembea to come to come and have a speech, and Sifuna continued to speak, and at some point Boni Alwale came in. So this one also shows that they are trying to elevate him and show the people that Edwin Sifuna in his backyard, especially because he's coming from Western Kenya, that is our leader. So they have to treat him by making sure that he's the person who speaks last. Um, I don't know. Western leaders have to convince us. Sio hiyo kiburi I saw with some leaders. Ruto was very humble from before 2022, but Western leaders more so. Kwamboka is speaking with a demanding tone. Yes, that is something also that I'm seeing with him.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the comments of our good friend Zihomi.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, just like I was giving my views on Murkomen,
Yeah,
Murkomen, what we are seeing is power has gotten into his mind,
yeah.
and it is the power that is speaking in him.
Mhm.
So it is normal sometimes for human being when they are elevated or
Uh,
when they are seen or acknowledged, they sometimes forget that they are humans and the pride do take over. That
yes.
is what we also saw partly with some leaders in this particular region
Mhm.
in Western.
Yeah.
Some of them, like Kwamboka, like he's mentioning, Kwamboka thinks that, Washafika, for example, they already have him and
What
there's
do you
nothing
think?
you can do. That is,
But
I think that 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 pride is coming, but sometimes some of these people do not really know how to express their pride. They simply overdo it. They simply do it at a point where they're not supposed to do it,
mhm.
and they're humans, so it is
Okay.
sometimes not right. I think we need to be categorical on how we view things. We need to tackle issues and point out issues as it is without making others feel that they do not belong, or without making others feel like it is your property. I think
Yes.
that is what I can say.
All right. Kama sio Sifuna wacha ikae. That's not how to look for votes. Don't forget, even the Luo Babu Orengo, I've never endorsed him when they were in Nyanza. And that one also became, Makubur actually, this one became a debate. Malala pointed it out. And there are also, people were saying, why was Orengo and Babu did not endorse Sifuna presidency when they were in Luo Nyanza and even Omondi Karoli? But and Babu endorsed Kalonzo Musyoka. What is going on? Does it mean that?
What is happening?
Mm,
Edwin Sifuna just got into this elevation the other day,
mhm,
and politics is a calculated move,
mhm,
and based on the regions. That is why, for example, if you've been keen enough, there are some comments that Rigathi Gachagua can give in Mount Kenya region,
that
but
he
he
would.
cannot give them in Nyanza or in Western.
Mm,
So it is normal based
mm,
on areas. Sometimes it is a political move, it is a political strategy that is used
mm,
based on the areas or the regions where you are, as a way of partly trying to settle your political ambitions or
yeah.
political futuristic plans.
Mhm,
Remember, in Luo Nyanza, for example, you find that the likes of Wanga, the cabinet secretaries, the
yeah.
two of them,
Yes.
and some leaders, they don't want to speak about opposition. And as smart politicians, if you want to counter them and you're from that region, then
Mhm,
of course you must give an alternative. While giving the alternative,
yeah.
you must not behave like you are not going to give alternative that is going to be of the interest or is going to be making sense or putting first your region. I
Mhm,
think that is the reason why the likes of Orengo and Babu partly did
mhm,
not come out to fully give their views on that particular matter, because they are still um, trying to tactically
mm.
play the politics so that they don't offend or they don't give the people in government a reason to fire them back with political.
And yeah, and another thing also maybe that Orengo and Babu Wino were not able to do that. Remember, right now as we speak, when you look at the politics of Luo Nyanza, there are two factions that are fighting. And the main reason why they are disagreeing, let me tell you, it's not even about ODM. The main reason is about who is going to inherit the fanatical base of Raila Amolo Odinga. Everyone wants to be a spokesperson, or everyone wants to be the person that will be giving direction to the community. That is what is happening, and that's why you are seeing all these political tensions between these two. When you look at Babu Owino and Orengo are on the other side, and they feel like, okay, we are uh, the rightful owners who should be or inherit those supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga. And we have also Wanga, who is also the chairperson of the party and also a leader from the same Luo. And she's trying her level best, especially to make sure that he or she also inherit this population. And because like right now, the population, like they are divided, especially the Raila Odinga a fanatical base is divided. There are those who are maybe with Gladys Wanga, there are those who are with Orengo, and there are those who are still in they're in the middle. They don't know where to go. So all this that you are seeing is going to happen, and even going towards the election, it's going to be even more worse because like everybody wants to harvest those strong fanatical base of Raila Amolo Odinga. The very moment you win that, then you will be the spokesperson, and when it comes to political negotiation, you will be considered. I think Rigiji can accept to support Kalonzo Sifuna ticket. I think Mount Kenya can agree to support that candidate. Yes, they can. I think Sifuna candidate Sifuna, if you look at him, like everybody would want to support Sifuna because first of all, the kind of politics that he's doing, the art of politics that he's doing, is the one that appeals to people because you're talking about real issues that affect the people. You are bringing in constitution, you know. That's where he talks about. Okay, Makubura, you can continue.
Yeah, so let me just give my view on this comment of Xiaomi. I think Rigiji can accept to support Kalonzo Sifuna ticket. I think Mount Kenya can agree to support that candidate. It is true, this is a candidate that is fully accepted with the Mount Kenya region. That's a fact. Remember, Kalonzo is just, if you are supposed to go with the comments of Rigathi Gachagua,
Yeah.
and part of how he plays his politics,
Yeah.
we can agree to the fact that they are the Kambas and the Kikuyus are cousins, and that would be a soft landing point for for the Mount Kenyans, having in mind that Rigathi has always played the politics of they are closer cousins with the Kambas, and remember, the majority of those people who do not support the president have
Yeah.
a feeling that they cannot simply, you know, they cannot put it so far, they cannot take it too far. So Kalonzo has a soft, I mean, is partly accepted with this, I mean, with the Mount, he can be accepted with this Mount Kenya team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you compare the number of these other people who are also presenting themselves, Martha Karua is also a
Yeah.
good candidate, but she's currently not really accepted. And a combination of Martha Karua, Sifuna would not, it would be a little bit hard to sell. Remember, Kalonzo has also built a base. He has a base. And majority of leaders from Mount Kenya region has no personal or political differences with Honorable Kalonzo. If you mention somebody like, for example, these other ones, then they will start asking or giving their views in a manner that they will simply point out some few, one or two reasons. So I think Kalonzo can be a soft point or an option that can easily be accepted by the Mount Kenya region, and him coming out would give him a higher chance because he'll simply take the all Kamba votes
Mhm.
and majority of the I mean the central vote. Sifuna would also have to do it a little bit tough to ensure that he takes over the regions that partly supported Raila Amolo Odinga.
Okay.
And even if he's not accepted widely in the support base of Raila Amolo Odinga, there are
Mhm.
quite a number of fanatic supporters who believed in Raila Amolo Odinga. Automatically, he will
Will
pick those ones,
okay.
and that would be an added advantage to that particular ticket. I believe, I think that is the only ticket that can win. If they go for any other,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a little bit tough. Mateng is a good candidate.
Mhm.
That's a fact that we also need to acknowledge.
Mhm.
But Kenyan politics is more of a tribal, and that is one thing that we need to accept.
Okay.
Matiang'i can do better. He's a good candidate, can be a good president, can be a good deputy president. But when we look at the numbers and how Kenyan politics is being played,
Mhm.
he can, in each ticket, they can win, but there will be a little bit struggle.
Mhm.
The reason why I'm saying this is because his region does not really have majority of the voters as we've always seen Kenyan people do vote.
Okay. All right. And now, Makubura, it is now confirmed. Somebody has just sent me the text again, telling me that Paul Ngeno, brother of the late MP Joanna Ngeno, is dead, and and he died on Friday, just hours after Deputy President Rigathi, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, had visited the home and pledged to foot his hospital bill that was almost 1.8 to 1.9. Um, Paul had reported been undergoing treatment following motorbike accident that affected his spinal and throat area. His death came 174 days after the death of his younger brother Ngeno. And I saw the mother, and I think that mother, especially when she was with Rigathi Gachagua, there's one thing that also she requested Rigathi Gachagua about his son burial site, um, that if Rigathi can build something like, you know, so it is a double tragedy. And I don't think like now Rigathi Gachagua will campaign because like it was like visiting that family. But we are going to talk about that, the visit of Rigathi Gachagua at Ngeno's place. What does it mean significant, especially when you're looking at politics? Because such like visits, especially with the Rigathi Gachagua, with accusations that he was putting forward, politically, it means a lot. Now, Makobura, there's also something that we came to hear, especially for the very first time, that Sifuna has a political party, details of new political party. And if you go to their timeline of Wananchi, I think it is on Friday next week, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. They will be having procession, and they will go to the office of the political party registers, about their party. Let me just go and let me check it. So, um, let me see this. I saw it somewhere here. Yes, it's going to be on. Where is it?
Yeah, as you look for it, allow me to just give my comments on what Ziomi is saying.
Mm,
I think Ziomi is simply confirming what I've just said about Matiang'i. Matiang'i can be a good candidate, but based on how Kenyan votes I mean, are done, sometimes you have to be coming from a constituency or an area that has majority of the people. And
okay.
that is why here I'm seeing him saying that in Embu, Mukunji will win with a big margin. Manyata constituency has the highest votes in Embu County, of which I agree. Most of these people do win because if they have a bigger support base, that
Yeah,
has always played to their advantage. And that is why I'm simply also saying that Matengi, as much as he's also accepted nationally,
yeah,
the challenge he's having is he does not have majority of a bigger support base from his area.
yeah.
Lenny Kivuti is always a good leader, but he comes from the second lowest constituency in terms of votes. Yeah, and
Mhm,
that might be it's going to be a serious challenge for him again. He also goes ahead to say that Mbarire comes from a constituency that is second to
mhm,
Manyata. When you look at the numbers, the next
mhm,
governor of
mhm,
Embu is Mukunji.
mhm.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and what is happening here? It will be on a Tuesday, especially the Linda Wananchi will be going to the party register. A small team of friends of Linda Mwananchi under the National Strategy Forum (NSF) will will from 10 a.m. Tuesday the 25th maintain a peaceful presence at the office ORPP until the constitution is respected and the Linda Mwananchi name is granted relevant. OCS has been informed, so that will going to be that is going to be on a Tuesday, Makobura. So that is it. So Makobura, let's also we've talked about Edwin Sifuna and how the Western Kenya is now putting him as a presidential candidate and showing the people of Homa Bay, even though you did this one to our son, but when he comes here, we respect him and we honor him and he's our king. But it was also very unusual to see Bonnie Alwale being the MC at the burial of the wife, where people were questioning, why did you have to do that? Then another thing also was that he said that the president was asking for coordinates so that he can come and um, uh, be part of the people who are, or the mourners who are going to say, pay the last respect for the Bonnie's wife, and Bonnie Alwale refused. And what surprises me, or what did surprise me, was that he says that it was Farouk Kibet who asked for those coordinates. How can an ordinary, especially, ask for that without the security knowing? Because president was not coming as a private citizen. Because I know when president is traveling, the security has to be beefed, and the security they can come without even asking for coordinates. That is something that is there. Or what do you say about that? Because president cannot just through Farouk Kibet.
I want to give my honest opinion to that,
Yeah.
and I want to say that I think he simply refused, from my thinking, because of a political, let me say, because of a political expectation of the people.
Yeah.
I think he simply refused
But
because
now
there is no way you can even stop the president from
from
coming.
coming,
If it is a
because
matter of security,
president
that
has
is something
yeah,
that can be sorted within 1 minute. You understand the presidential, uh, you know, you understand the presidential security arrangements that we've had in the country. So I don't think that was really the big thing. Politically, he did not want the president to come because of what they had planned. They had planned to show Edwin Sifuna some bit of respect, some bit of acknowledgement, some bit of endorsement. So with the president coming, it was going to spoil. And Kalwale wanted to use, remember, in such kind of occurrence, similar
yeah.
to what we saw
Mhm.
happening in death and all these kind of things. Politicians always use these opportunities as very significant when they
Mhm.
want to make a political statement. And I think that is what the senator was doing. He was simply, he wanted to affirm that during this difficult time that he was going through, He
Mhm.
wanted to use this as a remembrance of having made a political turn, a
Mhm.
political decision that would then change how the future would look like. I think that is what he was doing.
Yeah, and I think he wanted to make a Sifuna moment because I tend to think and I tend to believe that if president could have attended that burial, one, the person who could have spoke last is the president, based on the protocol. And also, the Linda Mwananchi and the politics, and they say that okay, now he's not good associate with they're not seeing. I mean, like they're not in the same political party. So, but where I tend to doubt, I don't know. I might. Uh, I don't know how Farouk Kibet could call for the coordinates for the president, because like for the president to travel, like to ask Farouk Kibet, I'm having a reserve opinion on that, Makobura. Msimamo vipi?
Safi ndugu yangu Ben, hali yako
Niko
na
vizuri.
ndugu yangu Mark hapo. Naona leo umeamua kulipakua asubuhi mbichi hili goma hili, inapendeza mno.
Ya, tumekuwa hapa kuanzia asubuhi. Tulikuwa nafaa tukuwe na 1 hour. Okay, sasa niambie, jambo ambalo lipo hapa ni kwamba labda tu nikuulize kwa jambo ambayo yalitokea pale wakati ambapo walikuwa wanapatia heshima za mwisho mkewe, Senator Boni. Tuliona kile kiti ambacho kilipatiwa na Sifuna ilikuwa ni kama kiti cha mfalme fulani. Labda kisiasa, wewe hapo unaweza kuwa na somo gani, ama labda ni ujumbe gani labda walikuwa wanajaribu kuonesha watu, ama ujumbe gani, ama ni picha gani ambao walikuwa wanaonesha watu wa Kenya especially?
Hmm. Na kiukweli unajua asifungamana siasa kwa mazishi ni unajua, wakati ambapo kuna wengine ambao wanahuzunika wameshampoteza, mfano watoto, relatives na kadhalika, na sasa ubaya ulianguka mikononi mwa
Haya, tengeneza kipasa sauti.
unipati bado unipati.
Ina katika.
Basi wacha nitoke basi, narudi mara moja.
Okay, asante sana. All right, thank you so much, Msimamo, for joining us this morning. We are talking about the Boni Halwales, where he said that President wanted to attend the burial, but he did not share the coordinates that were requested by the president through Farouk Kibet. But I know as president, usually he can, with the intelligence that president has and accessibility of information, I don't think that president would ask to get the pin, the location coordinates to come, and he has the intelligence, he have the police, he have the military and all that. Hapa ni pali military, but anyway, that is something that I siwezi sema. Acha niangalie kama huyu ndugu yangu amekuja. Hey, Msimamo. Okay, he is out. All right, I'm still waiting for Msimamo to come and at least give us our views. Now, let's go to Rigathi Gachagua. Yesterday, Rigathi Gachagua did visit, or did pay a visit to the late Ngeno's mother, and he went there to pay his last respect, especially to Ngeno, who he claimed was his friend. And there are quite a number of things that Rigathi Gachagua said, especially surrounding the death of Joanna Ngeno. One of them was about the jet fuel that was used, and he into details he gave when the in, the late MP was dropped from Endebess. Then the chopper or the helicopter that he was using went to Eldoret to refuel, but there was a pickup, I don't know, that came all the way with another fuel, and the guy was arrested. Then somebody made a call, and the guy was released. And he said that this should be investigated. And he was saying that it should not be investigated by the Kenyan police. It should be investigated by FBI. And this one comes at a time when there have been speculation that the death of Joanna Ngeno was people are talking about assassination. So what role does this one play politically? This is my observation. One, Rigathi Gachagua is trying to go into the territory of the president, especially the UDA. As you know, right now, if you look at the UDA, their rating, the rating of the party or the Kenya Kwanza is low, especially is being rated lower percentage in terms of performance. So Rigathi Gachagua is trying to mobilize or is trying to expand the DCP base. Remember, his candidate at by-election in Dekere performed well as compared to especially the candidate of UDA in Olkalau. Rigathi Gachagua's candidate got almost like around 10,000 votes in Emor Dekere during that by-election. When you look at and the margin was very small. And if you look at what happened in Olkalau, where the margin was very huge, so Rigathi Gachagua is trying to stretch his base, especially in those part of the country. And that one tells you how Rigathi Gachagua ni mtu ambaye anajituma kisiasa. Na wakati alikuwa hapo pia amepiga hiyo siasa yake, he said to them, I was telling them how all the goodies that were given to the people of Olkalau, while you people, especially who claims that this is your son or this is huu ni mtu wetu, hakuna kitu aliwapatia. You see, so it was about political move going towards 2027, because one of the things that Rigathi Gachagua is fighting for, Rigathi Gachagua wants to make sure that he had quite a number of members of parliament. And what does that one mean? That one means that when it comes to bargaining, especially, he has to be called on the table if you have quite a number of majority of members of parliament. So, which means you play an integral part, and any political party post political, there are those arrangements that are being made after the election. So somebody can make with you those arrangements by giving you position. Remember, you see what has happened with ODM and Kenya Kwanza. ODM they've been given position, even though they've not made those arrangements. They've just done it casually. But that one happened because they had good number of members of parliament that assisted them, especially in impeaching Rigathi Gachagua. Simamo, if you have something to say.
Yeah, I can't confirm whether I'm now audible. I'm a bit clear.
Yeah. Yes, it was almost uko sawa. Thank you. It was almost 11K. Yeah, thank you. Now
unajua it's raining heavy today. Unanyesha ni mbaya sana. That's why pengine haswa na katika but kwa swali kwamba Halwale alikaribisha siasa yeye mwenyewe on his own. Alikubali kwamba mkewe aliweza kusaidia marais wawili Hivyo basi kisiasa kwake ni kama alikuwa na mwenzi, maana alikuwa mwanasiasa pia haya kivyake. So siasa ile aliileta yeye mwenyewe, na ndio maana tukokaa kuna yale ambayo tuliyashuhudia. But kile ambacho nilikiangalia zaidi haswa kwa undani zaidi ni kuhusiana na kwamba endorsement ya Sifuna, kwamba anaamini kwamba wajua sasa ni wakati wa kuweza kumbaka their son Sifuna, unaona. Lakini hili la kwamba rais alipiga kona ya U-turn ya tukutuku kurudi, unaona, kwa kuhofia, sijui alihofia nini, labda pengine ni kule kwamba kimtazamo wangu mimi ni kwamba labda hofu ile ya kwamba angeweza kushambuliwa, then yakatokea yale yalitokea Olkalau na kina Meso, alafu akawa kiongoza na ulizwa maswali na pia kuambiwa maneno magumu ambayo maybe angemshusha, unaona, ama angeweza kumweka mahali pasipo. So nafikiri hili ndio ambalo alihofia mheshimiwa rais kuweza kuatendi pale, au iwe ni kiki pia ya kuweza kutafuta siasa. Unajua siasa nayo ni ngumu mno, unaona. But kwa yale ambayo alijiri pale yote ni kwamba mwenyewe aswa mfiliwa yule ambaye ni mheshimiwa mheshimiwa huyu Bona Halwale alikaribisha yeye mwenyewe, alisema siasa itambe pale, na ndio maana mazima pakafunguka kwamba siasa ikaa inanoga haswa, inatamba vilivyo, unaona. So hofu yangu ni kuona, je, haswa Linda Mwananchi kama vuguvugu hili, je, litafikiaje hili kwa umoja, kwamba kuweza kuona mheshimiwa Sifuna ndio ameweza kusimama kama kiongozi haswa ama kama kiongozi wao wa kuweza kusimama haswa kama urais, kwa kusimamia urais, ngazi ya urais tuendako. So hili sina mengi sana kudadavua, kwa sababu bado naona kwamba wanafanya kazi pamoja, wanashirikiana, wanaonana, wanatembea pamoja, na ni vyema pia kama atakuwa pengine wamemwendozi bila vikwazo, basi unaona itakuwa ni jambo nambolo. Lakini kwa siasa pale mwenye Halwale ndo aliweza kuikaribisha, na ndio maana tukaona vijembe vile vya wanasiasa, kwa sababu unajua mwanasiasa ukimpa ulingo azungumze, hawana lingine, wao kazi yao ni domo. Kwa hivyo ndio maana tuliyashuhudia yote yale akiongozwa na yeye mwenyewe. Sasa Halwale aliweka uchungu wa kuondokiwa mbali, akasema wacha niitwange siasa, kisha vile vile pia nione kwamba kama nitaweza kuleta sawa kwa kingpin wa ngome yangu ya Kakamega hapa, kuona fika kwamba wanaweza mbaka mheshimiwa Sifuna. Kwa hiyo kivyo vyote vile ni kwamba yani kimkusadi na ngitathmini viongozi kama kina Wamalwa na wengine walikuwa pale, ni kamba wameamua haswa kwa kauli moja, wako nyuma ya Sifuna, sio kama kuna lingine. Kaka yangu Aben la kuongezea, asante.
Okay, labda kabla hujaenda ama kabla Makobura hajaingia, tuliona kwamba Boni Halwale wakati ambapo alikuwa ni mtu ambaye alikuwa anaendesha ile kikao, akaweka Sifuna ndiye azungumze ya mwisho, kama ile itifaki walikuwa naangalia itifaki, kama unajua kama unazungumsha ya mwisho inamaanisha kwamba wewe ndi mkubwa kuliko watu wote. Ulipata kwamba Wamalwa alizungumza, baada ya Wamalwa ndo wakaita Sifuna. Hii inaonesha nini? Sana sana katika mkoa wa Magharibi, ama ni jambo gani ambapo Halwale alikuwa anajaribu kuambia watu wa mkoa wa Magharibi na Kenya nzima?
Asante sana ndugu yangu Ben kwa swali lenye tija hilo. Hilo ilikuwa ni ishara wazi kwamba wao wamemwendozi na kumbackup na kumwendozi Sifuna kama flag bearer atakayemenyana na mheshimiwa Ruto ifikapo 2027. Lakini kwa ujumbe wa taifa ni kwamba wanaonyesha wale viongozi wengine haswa, kwa sababu kinukuu maneno ya mheshimiwa Halwale kwamba ni wakati wa vijana wachukue kutoka kwa sisi wazee, unaona. Ina maana kwamba amejaribu kuonyesha kwamba wale viongozi wengine wote ambao wanafungamana haswa na one term na ambao wanaamini, unaona, basi kwamba Western imeshatua their presidential candidate na Edwin Sifuna. That's one protocol pale ilikuwa kwamba yeye alizungumza mwisho kuona kwamba yeye ndio rais mtarajiwa ambaye anakuja 2027 piga ua, unaona. Kwa hivyo ujumbe ule kwa Kakamega ni kuonyesha kwamba tunaye kiongozi ambaye tunafaa tu backup kama jamii ya Western, lakini kwa taifa ni kwamba ni kuonyesha wale viongozi wengine kwamba hususan Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua na Mheshimiwa Martha Karua, Mheshimiwa Matiang'i, kwamba ni nafasi sasa hivi ya vijana kuweza kuachilia hili taifa ili kusudi hasa waendeleze pale ambapo tumefika, sio kung'ang'ania madaraka sie kwa sababu ya ukomavu wetu. Hapana, inatosha Sifuna kuweza kusimama kama kijana chepukizi katika masuala mazima na uongozi, hususu haswa ngazi hii ya kurais ifikapo 2027. Asante.
Asante sana. Makubura, I know the time has really gone and we need to be winding up. I want to know your view, especially when Sifuna spoke about like a detail of the new political party, his new political party. And this one, immediately after Malala was requesting Boni Alwale at least to uzie Sifuna ile party yake, na Sifuna akaongea hivyo. How will this one play in the Linda Mwananchi? Because we know Orengo has always been saying that he's the party leader of de facto party leader, you know. And Babu Owino sometimes earlier, some data, he said that he used to, no, he's saying that he must be on the table, you know, like nobody's going to be his leader. So how is this one going to play in the Linda Wananchi? Do you think this one will break or make them?
Okay, thank you. The issue of political party and of course the leadership, still it's not going to be an easy, and I believe they are continuing to have conversations. Remember, I saw a comment here for Ziomi saying that Sifuna, it would be difficult for Sifuna to move along with Babu, Orengo, and some of the leaders because they see themselves as equals, and so none of them would be able to control. That they're human beings, that would of course rise up. But I think the biggest thing here would be how they're going to handle that. They have political ambitions, all of them. But again, if they are all focused and seeing what is ahead of them, no matter the differences, they will have to sit down and possibly agree to one thing that would save them and would add political mileage to their movement. So a political party is necessary. I know they've had challenges acquiring one, and of course that has been blocked by the state most of the times. Malala coming out to give a statement that Boni should give his political party, and remember, Malala is the deputy party leader of DCP. It reminds us of one thing. Remember, Malala's party leader, that is Rigathi Gachagua, not once but several times, have always said that so long as it is a move that is going to take William Samoei Ruto home, he's in.
But you know, Makobura, this is where the trick is. Despite the fact that maybe Rigathi is promising that, you know, there's a strings attached. You know, there is no way in which, let's say that if Mount Kenya is going to give 3 point something million, or Rigathi can bring about maybe 6 million, if to say, then he just leave it like that. There's an extent for it.
I know that is still a point of conversation. But again, there are things that we also have to accept as we are doing this particular political analysis. Rigathi Gachagua is a leader that is loved. He is loved by majority of people from the central Kenya, and not just from that area. He has even other followers from other regions, and that's a fact. So He's currently like the supreme leader of the central, based on what we are seeing. And so my view here is he has a take, he has a view, he has a support base. And with the number that probably might be coming with, he will have a higher stake in terms of bargaining.
Mhm.
But there are also some things that we have to accept. The current wind does not accept Rigathi Gachagua to be a presidential candidate. And that is why sometimes he has always come out to say that he also acknowledged that fact that si lazima ikuwe ni yeye, si lazima ikuwe
Mm,
ni mimi. He has said that. But so
mm,
long as it is a camp that has a finality that they're taking William Samoei Ruto home, he will relinquish whichever position he will. It's not a must. He has said that. And if his deputy was coming to give this support to Edwin Sifuna, it is simply a confirmation that the opposition are trying to have a conversation on how best they can work.
mhm,
And as much as they are doing that, they are all partly trying to acknowledge the fact that Edwin Sifuna is currently accepted and is currently the wave that is accepted nationally.
mhm,
And in any political movement, if you are a politician, you have to be clever on how you associate with the current wind for you to be politically relevant. And that
mm.
is why the DCP's deputy party leader was coming out to simply also give his view or his take, and is trying to make that particular statement with some sympathy, to an extent where he's asking the senator that he
Mhm,
should relinquish or he should give his political party to the Linda Mwananchi, because he understands that the Linda Mwananchi are partly going through some problems in acquiring a political party.
mm.
One that they were almost getting, they have been having challenges here and there. And that is
Okay.
why Sifuna was also acknowledging the fact that, well, we've been having that challenge. But again, do not be dismayed or do not uh, overthink, because it is, as much as it is tough getting a political party, they acknowledge and they know that they have several ways of getting to where they want to get, even if it means coming up with a political party that does not have a political symbol or
Mhm,
significance.
mhm.
He says that it is the people who will follow the leaders who are genuine. It is not people following political parties. I believe that was his statement.
Okay, thank you. Before this is I want to ask you, in 2027, do you see Sifuna in the presidency and Babu as a governor and Orengo as a party leader? The possibility that I'm seeing is Orengo being a party leader, and I don't know how their constitution will be, because the Kenyan majority of times, or 100% times, that the party leader always become an automatic presidential candidate. So I don't know how they're going to organize themselves.
Yeah,
But
Brother Ben,
mhm.
that is normally a constitution that is made by the political parties. It is not
Yeah.
within the national constitution. So it is something, it is the political parties who comes on with their own party constitution. So it is something that they can still work out to
Do
ensure
you
that
know the
it
reason
works
why?
in.
Do you know the reason why that one is happening? The reason
Uh,
why that one is happening is because, like, you look at all these political parties, especially the UDA, the ODM, the Wiper Front, and all that. The personality behind them paid a sacrifice, especially for those political parties. So I think they're being given that leeway, that provided you are a party leader, you automatically run for presidential. Even if the delegates themselves cannot even vote for you, because, for instance, let's say that today somebody comes out and say that they wants to run, especially Wiper wants to get a presidential candidate, then somebody goes with Kalonzo. Do you think the delegates are going to vote for the other guy? No, they're not going to vote vote for the other guy. And that one, why you saw even Lee, Wakili Njiru, yeah, Wakili Njiru was appointed to be the Secretary General of Wiper Front. And Aisha Jumwa, that joined the party the other day, was the deputy party leader. How does that one happen? So what is there that all these political parties that you see, these are properties for them. These are property. And that's why even what happened with the ODM, they had to give it to Oburu. Why did they have to give it to Oburu? They wanted to give it to Oburu, one, as a symbol to kind of like, this is Raila's brother, and this was Raila's party. So what does it one mean? This one mean that he will glue the fanatical base of Raila Amolo Odinga, or those who are Raila Amolo Odinga followers, you know. So that's why they've created that. So that's where, like I'm saying, when you look at what my brother was asking here about the combination of that, I think like it can be negotiated. And how is it going to be negotiated? Because when for instance, when you come to Nairobi, Rigathi Gachagua, DCP, Rigathi Gachagua will want to fill in a candidate, especially for Nairobi governorship, right? Then we have the Linda Mwananchi. Maybe they've settled on, like, maybe either Sifuna is going to be the president, then Kalonzo be the deputy, which Rigathi Gachagua is going to offer you support. Then you want to also come to compete with him in the Nairobi gubernatorial. I don't think those are some of the areas that they are going to negotiate. Because remember, if they run all of them, the Linda Mwananchi, Kalonzo run, all these political parties, that's sometimes you may find that the UDA might win. So those one will be negotiated. So I think where there's going to be a very tough decision to be made, especially on the governorship for Nairobi, where if Linda Mwananchi are given the top ticket, they will have to see on how they're going to work on the governorship of Nairobi. Because I think they must have negotiating, or they're going to negotiating table. Those are among the positions that will be negotiated. Ama wewe msimamo unaona vipi?
Hapa unajua ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba Gachagua anapendwa ndio, na nasikizwa ndio katika ile taifa, lakini zaidi haswa kile ambacho anapendwa nacho ni kuweza kuunganisha kura mlima kuwa sehemu moja. So kile ambacho kipo kwa wananchi ni yeye mwenyewe binafsi kusimama pale. Wakenya wengi hawapo kwa hilo, mie ni mmoja wao. Kwa hiyo na nafikiri hili analijua fika mazima kwamba Wanakenya hawapo kwa hilo, ingawaje tunamsikiza na anasikizwa na Wakenya wengi kutokana na yale mambo ambayo anayazungumza, haswa shughuli haswa katika mkutano wa mheshimiwa Sifuna na kubalika all over the country, kokote kule. Tuliona juzi haswa ujumbe uliotoka Coast huko kwenda kumbaka kule Homa Bay, ambao baadhi yao pia waliumizwa, haswa ule mama ambaye anawania haswa upande huu. Kwa cha msingi ni kwamba turudi sasa katika wasilia wa chama kama vile ambavyo mlikuwa mnazungumzia. Linda Mwananchi bado ina hati hajajaliwa kutengeneza chama. Haswa yani tume ile ambayo inahusishwa na masuala na usajili wa vyama, kwa kweli ngambe wanawapa mgongo kidogo. Lakini kama pengine watakubalika kutengeneza chama cha Linda Mwananchi, I do believe kwamba Sifuna will be their presidential candidate. Then Babu Owino will stand for gubernatorial hiyo ya Nairobi, na party leader atakuwa ni Orengo. Ila sasa kizungumkuti kitakuja na Wiper na vyama vingine vile ambavyo pia vinahitaji kusimamisha wajumbe baada ya kuona pengine kwamba labda Linda Mwananchi wamepata hiyo position ya juu. Kwa hiyo ile pia nafasi ya Nairobi kuweza kusimamisha mtu, mfano Wiper ambayo pia ni chama ambacho si kidogo vile, ni chama kongwe na vyama vingine ambavyo viko pale. Kwa hiyo hapa katika hii meza ya mazungumzo kuna kazi, unaona kuna kizungumkuti hapo, unaona. So for real, wacha mimi tusubiri tuone, but nikimalizia ni kwamba Sifuna kwa sasa hivi naweza nikasema naongoza katika hiyo presidential candidate kwa kuweza kulileta taifa pamoja zaidi, kukubalika zaidi kuliko na haswa hawa wengine wote. Kwa hiyo nafasi yangu kama ningekuwa katika hiyo meza, mfano kama mimi msimamo, basi ningesema kwamba tuangalie, maana hii ni game ya numbers. Ikiwa Western wataweza kupiga kura yao kama block, wasigawanywe kama tulivyowashuhudia kwamba huyu anasimama na chama chake na wafuasi wake, huyu naye, kama vile ambavyo tumeshuhudia Coast, kama vile ambavyo tumeshuhudia Luo Nyanza. Unaona, basi waamue kwamba kwa sababu wako na mgombea wa kura yote itaingizwa hapo, then na mlima nayo Gachagua endeleze ku strength iingize hapo, alafu then tuokote Coast, tuokote Luo Nyanza, tuokote Eastern ambao kunasimamana na mheshimiwa, ushindi wako nao. Ila sasa ni jinsi gani vile ambavyo watakubaliana wao, inategemea jinsi ambavyo wataweza kukubaliana bila kuvutana kwa manufaa ya ushindi ambao wanauendea 2027 kama wanaotaka kweli kushindana na hao. Lakini kama wataanza kumenyana hapo kwa nyadhifa, kwamba mfano Kisii ile ambayo inaongozwa na mheshimiwa Matiang'i na Jubilee, na wajubilee waanze kutoa masharti makali na mapendekezo makali, huyu naye na chama chake aseme mimi, sasa hapo ndo kutakuwa na mvutano, na mwisho wa siku kama tunavyoelewa kwamba siku zote hasira ama vita vya panzi ni furaha kwa kunguru. Unaona, so hii itampa nafasi mheshimiwa Ruto kuweza kudona haswa ile riski kwa urahisi zaidi. Lakini kama wataweza kuwa na mshikamano na waelewane kwamba haswa wanaendea ushindi ule, na kama pengine Babu Owino ndio ambaye anakubalika haswa ataweza kushindana na yule atasimamishwa haswa wa upande ule wa broad based government na United na Kenya Kwanza ama UDA, basi wataweza kumenyana Babu Owino na uwezo wa kushinda hiyo gubernatorial city ya Nairobi. Wasiwe na vikang'anizi, wampe, kwa sababu kile ambacho unakitafuta pale ni ushindi, lakini vile vile ni kuto lose wale watu ambao wamejenga trust, kwa sababu pindi wataluza watu kwa kuanza kuonyesha ulafi wa madaraka, basi hapa itakuwa hamna tija kiukweli. Ngoja ni nyamazishe shangazi yenu hapa, maana naona anaitafuta lugha na amechemka kabisa. At least ninarudi, wacha niweke mambo sawa kidogo. Naona hiyo sauti ya shangazi yenu, mtaniwia radhi, imekuja juu mno. Naona pia naye anachangia, kwana ni mtoto wa msimamo huyu. Kwa hiyo naona anaitafuta lugha mapema
sana kakaangu Makobura. Naona kama muda yetu pia imeenda, kwa sababu tumeenda sana. Ndio, let me talk. In my view, Kang'ata has played good politics in Mount Kenya, and 2032 he will have a big voice than yes. The reason why I think Kang'ata will have a big voice, or Ndindi Nyoro has kind of like lost the footing, is that Ndindi Nyoro took long time to decide, especially the journey. Because even during the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, he was very silent, and was somebody who seems to have taken a neutral path. Remember? Yeah, and he did not speak for quite long time, and people were asking, where is Ndindi Nyoro? The time that he was supposed to especially speak on about the politics. Remember when he came with the economics and all that, the first presser that he had, it was very big, but like when he launched his political party, and that's now the issue of mall came about. And when you look at the politics, especially in central Kenya, as we speak today, I think the wave of DCP in central Kenya, especially, its rating is high, Makobura. And among the people that right now in the DCP that people are, seeing and calling them as men is Medhu. Medhu is also, when you talk about Medhu, with what happened in Olkalau and him being also this SG of DCP, I think Ndindi Nyoro will have hard time, especially even though he also says that he's in the united opposition, he will have hard time to convince the people that, okay, what is the sole purpose of this your political party? Because have you come to um, uh, strengthen the opposition or to weaken the opposition based on his late arrival or even making late decisions? But we saw people like Orengo attended his launching of that party, which is not a new party anyway. It is an old party. It's just maybe the owners have decided to give him the party and told him like, okay, you're going to be the party leader, because that is not his party. That party was there, has participated in 2 elections, and maybe the owner have just decided to give him, but that is not his party, or he has decided to buy that party. So the question is, what is his role, especially coming in very late? Even if you're going to criticize President William Ruto, and he started in that note, especially during the time when he was launching uh, his party, uh, majority of his political attacks were going towards the president. He had his first rally. It was about president, saying that whoever is attacking Rigathi Gachagua will not come to his party. Whoever is from UDA will not come to his party. But there's those people who tend to believe that there are people who are still working with the president, but because they know when they run on UDA, especially in central Kenya, they're not going to win. So they want a party that is kind of like independent to make them win. Then after winning, they're going to support the president, because like after them winning, there's nothing that you can do. Marco Bura, what do you have to say?
Okay,
All right.
thank you. I think Ndindi Nyoro has taken time, just like you've said, he has taken too much time. Ndindi would be, he was accepted already, but the problem is his timing was not really the best. Ndindi would be competing with Edwin Sifuna in terms of uh, acceptance within the nation. That was Ndindi, Mbabu, and Sifuna. If Ndindi would have come out during the Gen Zs, if he would have come out during the impeachment, he would be a figure that not any politician within Mount Kenya would not associate with. And again, him coming out at this particular point is seen as a means of trying to distract people, is seen as a means of coming out as somebody who is now a representative of, you know, other political parties. He's him taking too long really made the people had so many questions whether he can be trusted, whether he's genuine, what makes him take long to decide on matters of the nation. And again, the behaviors that we saw in him when the impeachment was being tabled, he did not participate. Look at the finance bill, he also did not. I mean, he gave his opinions, but never really gave his intake. Such kind really made it a little bit tough for uh, for the people to fully accept him. You've also spoken about the governor, and I can say that Governor Kangata is one of the best leaders that we have in the country. And being that there's somebody here asking for the link, Eric, we've shared the link. Just you can join us on the right platform, and then I've shared the link over here. There is the link there, Eric. So just join the light. Just you can look for the right. You can join us on the platform where it is placed on the what? Is it the? How do I explain to him? The link has been shared. Just look for the right platform on YouTube. I think you're watching us on. Uh-huh. Yeah, so just look for the right platform and then you join. I've shared the link at the comment section. Eric. Yeah, so like I was giving my views on the governor. The governor has done well. He has performed very well. He's one of those governors who have really made the country and his region better in terms of development, and that is so key because what really the people of Kenya needs or wants is a leader who can perform, a leader who can you know do or operate, perform the duties as the will of the as per the wills or the wishes of the people. Yes, and then something else that is coming out is you know what we've seen in the Mount Kenya region. Mount Kenya is ripe. Mount Kenya is ripe for the politics. Mount Kenya is ripe in the sense that there are quite a number of leaders who are coming out, and depending on how they are going to relate with the people, that is going to make sense, and yeah, that is going to make it easy for them to be acceptable. And again, something else that is going to be key is the decisions or the political alliances that they are going to have with the other leaders. Some of them, for example, Ndindi is being seen as partly he's being accused of being a representative of UDA, something that he has to come out and convince the people that he's not. He'll do so based on how he'll be handling his politics and the views, or how he'll be tackling certain issues that are affecting the people. I think that would be my view on that.
All right. Eric, habari gani? Hey Eric,
Mzuri sana Benson.
habari gani?
Mzuri, nimeingia ku make one comment.
Okay, sir, you're allowed. Ni gani hiyo to...
Okay, so niko nasema like in Kenya, for you to qualify to be a CS, what do you think they look like? What do they check? What are the qualifications?
No, for me, what there's no qualification. Is that like loyalty? Because like the people who are being are your cronies. They don't look for qualification.
Good. So I don't know if there's something. I raised this point in Jiro's YouTube channel. What is happening in Mount Kenya? Why is it that there are so many people, so many parties coming up?
One, to me, I would think based on the numerical power that Mount Kenya has and what we are facing, because the popularity of the president has really gone down. So one of the ways in which to make sure that that strength is lowered down is by having so many political parties whereby people are going to divided. Like you will have, if for instance you have like 10 people, you will find that out of 10 people you have like around 7 political parties. So not all 10 are going to be in one party. You will find that 1/10 in one party, or maybe 3/10 or 7/10. You see that? So that is what is going to happen. So to neutralize the numerical strength of that area.
Okay, so in this case, I want to give you an example, and I'm trying to show you the danger that many people don't see. So when the opposition sit, they don't show the face of Kenya. You find that in that opposition, they will take as Didi Nyoro as in terms of ranking, he's a big person. The same thing to Justice is Muturi. I don't know the name, Justin Muturi, right? But in terms of the national outlook, he looks so big. And that's why I was giving you an example of in Manyata, why Justin cannot dare run as a governor in Embu. He can lose by a big margin. So tell me how in 2027, let's say the opposition win, there's higher chance Justin Muturi will be a governor. And this, no, not a governor, a CS. There's a higher possibility he might be a CS. Just as it was like there was that higher chance that in 2022 he was going to be a CS. Okay, so these parties and many people, when like I see them condemning Rigiji when he's trying to say, oh, these if it's not a negotiation tool, allow me to say the tool. It's sometimes Rigiji call them wheelbarrow, like it's a green or red or something. There's a way he tried to name those parties, and that's gonna be a problem because in 2027. I don't think these people, they are so much into people more than the, like it's mostly it's for personal gain or for personal interest.
That's true, because when you look at all these political parties and all that is happening, the first priority of them is their interest. That is what you're saying, and even all these fights that people are fighting in both the new political parties that are coming in Mount Kenya, in Luo Nyanza, and everywhere. First of all, it is about their interest. They're saying that how am I going to benefit? Then after me benefiting is where I'm going to look at my people, you know. And what you've talked about, especially what Rigathi talked about of this small political party, it made sense because let's say, for example, you have a party, you don't have a member of parliament, you don't even have a MCA, you just only have a party. But when it comes to negotiating table, you want to be given a position, but the position that are being given in coalitions are given based on what numbers are you bringing. So you've not brought any number, or you don't have any footing anywhere, but you find that you want a bigger position.
Yeah. So there's one day I wanted to show Kenyans that I hope they will agree with me on this. Many times people accuse Mount Kenya of they have so many CS, those stuff, and it's them that they don't see this thing. You know, when you elevate Didi Nyoro as a party leader, and at the end you're not going to check the numbers or the kind of MP he has.
Marco Burak, can you take over, please? Let me sort out some issue.
Okay, yeah, proceed, Eric.
So let me proceed. For example, so in Mount Kenya we have Rigathi Gachagua DCP, Didi Nyoro PPK, Martha Karua PLP, Peter Munya PNU. We have Justin Muturi. We have Kawera Mwangaza. Don't forget. So all these people, when they support maybe the presidential candidate for the opposition, I'm sure they have interest too. And that's how you find. So in short, what I'm saying, when we are having so many parties in Mount Kenya, I think it's not the best for for Kenya. I would say that because at the end of the day, they'll be saying we want, now this time will be a share for not as a region, like party shares. You got?
Yes, I get
what I'm saying. Yeah.
I get your take, and it's very true because let's say, for example, the opposition wins in 2027. The people will be appointed, whether it's a cabinet secretary, whether it is PS. They are the people who would have participated in assisting the government to take, to win. And with Mount Kenya coming with quite a number of political parties, and all these people are going to take part in assisting the government, probably they all have personal interest. And that is when, after 2027, he will also come to realize that there are quite a number of members of parliament, cabinet secretary, government appointees from the Mount Kenya region compared to other regions. And that would then mean that the national outlook that you are speaking about is still going to be an issue, and it is going to be a problem that would not be easy to solve, because we will keep on recycling the most senior leaders that probably have had challenges with their opponents. I think that's what you are
Yeah,
bringing.
that's my point. Yeah, that's my point. And in my view, I think the opposition need to check on that, because I saw many, like those in opposition, they were praising Didi Nyoro so much. But if you check, he's trying to position himself. You see, he's trying to position himself for the next government. Maybe he might have his irreducible minimum. You know, for example, I saw him saying like about his agenda. You know, and he didn't go into depth. For example, about the energy. You know, he gives some a bit not deep, but a good, like how to I don't know how to put it. But if you check in terms of like Didi Nyoro is part of that problem. Do you
Yes,
agree?
I
He's,
agree. And
yeah,
part of, let me, for example, give you an example. Part of the leaders, most of from Mount Kenya region, who are currently saying that William Samoei Ruto is not a good leader. They're the exact people who took him or made him the president.
yeah.
Therefore, the challenges and the problems that we are facing in the government of William Samoei Ruto, they should be part of it. Well, because of their personal disagreements, they are now on the opposition side, trying to form another government, which probably they might form. And should they form that government, the same problems that they had are the same problems that they're going to carry forward. And that would mean that we'll be recycling challenges and problems. And these political people that we've always had on the forefront, they will always be there.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same problem in 2027. I'm
Yeah,
seeing the same problem. I'm seeing another one time after that. Because like he said, he gave a good example of how we can improve tourism from 2 million to 10 million. But our structure right now, for example, I think more than 1 week ago I was in Kenya, and like at the airport I took more than 1 hour, to finish with the immigration process. You know, so you cannot tell me that we have that capacity to improve. It can't just happen. It can't just happen.
Eric, one thing I've realized with our leaders is they know where the problem is. And once they're in government, they don't sort the issue. They will only speak about it once they're in the opposition side, so that they would want the people to see them as relevant leaders or as serious leaders or as leaders who really care. But the truth of the matter is, for example, now, Ndini Nyoro the other time was a senior most legislator, having a very influential position. What the question then that would come from the people is, with all the powers that he had, and being that he's a member of parliament, and some of all these things are made within the parliament, what has he done? Why is it that now that he wants, so he's having political ambitions, and he's still a member of parliament and elected, he has the power, why is he not solving all these issues? Why is he then raising them? Why is it that he wants the people to see him as a serious person who, for example, when he takes over, he will solve the problems, while now he has the opportunity and he's not solving the problems?
To me, like his statement that he made that time, I found like most of that one of tourism, maybe he could have gone in depth a bit deeper so that I understand. I found like it was more of another bottom up, where we say you're going to move from 2 million to 10 million, you know. Like before 2022, the president was saying, Ndapea mama boga, and people would, the Kenyans were very happy. Ndapea 50 billion. Wewe mtu wa boda boda, ndampea 100 million.
Yeah,
So, throwing just numbers, tutajenga nyumba, but amwambiwi zinatoka wapi. Unajua Kenya wanafaa waende deeper.
yeah. I think they've mastered that kind of politics. One that is not so good or so safe for the people, and it could be they know how to, let me say, evoke the emotions of the people, and once they've done that, they simply walk away like they've done nothing. Those are the problems that we are having. How I wish we'll have leaders who will. I think the biggest problem we are facing as a country is this political class that has always dominated, that has always existed, that have, they've rooted themselves to an extent that doing away with them is not easy. But they're the perennial problems, causes of the challenges that Kenyans are going through.
If I was being asked, I think the only person, because for me, I always think the problem of Kenya is mostly the debt. And most of from 2013, like from 2013, I always have that, like, I feel somehow the country lost like direction, even though it was a bit before. But in terms of debt, I feel from 2013, there was a big problem. Because so I always prefer this guy called what's his name? He's a senator. I think Busia senator. What's his name?
Okay, Omtata.
Yeah, Omtata. Because I think that's the guy that I feel he can audit this thing, and I think we can solve that. Because once we have the money, like we ever since, even when the president came in, President Ruto, like the debt is still increasing, it will never reduce. And I feel we need to audit this debt. If we can be able to audit this debt, we can be able to fix problem. But until then, I think even after the new government come in, we are going to say one term. And this one will be much more louder. Or what do you think?
Yeah, me, from my observation, we have a problem in Kenya, and the challenges we are facing, they are deeply rooted, like I've said. Kuingoa itamaanisha we do away with this. I mean, we do away with this political leaders that we currently have, because today, when, as much as we want, I mean, Kenyans, some of them might see that Edwin Sifuna is going to solve the problems. He might be given the opportunity to become the president, and possibly with Kalonzo Musyoka, for example, as the deputy, or the president and Sifuna as the deputy. The challenge or the other problems would be, who are they going to appoint as the cabinet secretaries or government employees? You'll find that these are political leaders, and more of the people they associate with. Kalonzo Musyoka, he will still bring probably majority of the people that he worked with during Kibaki, majority of the people that were closer to Raila, who was his close friend, majority of the people who are closer friends that they share with the President William Ruto, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the circle will continue. So I think what we need to do is we need to simply do away with these people who have always dominated, these people who have always existed, because they are the people who have let me say that they are holding, they're the ones who are blocking the productivity of this nation. They're the ones who are making it tough for Kenya to move to the next level, because the relationship that they've created and the circle that they have, they're the ones who are controlling the economy and even barring this nation from moving forward because they want first to deal with their personal needs, personal interest, forgetting the main reason why they've been elected. And that is why the government that really, I mean, the parliament that really solved part of the problems or that acted as per the constitution of the Republic of Kenya was the 10th parliament. That was a parliament that had the interest of the people. After that, we've been having from 2013, 2017, 2022, 2027, we are going to get worse because the members of parliament we are having and we are getting currently are people who are remote controlled. They are people who are simply working as per the commands of the executive. And this is the problem that we have. Look at what we had in 2017. We had that base of leaders, of members of parliament who were being controlled from the state house. Look at 2022, it got worse. Look at now 2027, it is now at a pro max. What is going to happen in 2032 if we don't change this circle? I think we need to look into that.
Anyway, my biggest point is, and I want you to be debating it more often, because I feel in the opposition they need to include or to empower maybe some leaders in Northeastern so that they can be part of the team. And also, I'm happy to see in course like there's Muhammad Ali. I think it's a good thing. Which other side? So that they can there can be some inclusivity, so that we don't have like 5 or 6 people from Mount Kenya who are like they rank. You know, someone has a party, and maybe you know. So I feel that party you need. I need that point. You people need to debate it more, so that by the time after 2027, you don't discuss that. Oh, how comes like Mount Kenya had all these people in as a CS? Because even now, the reason why they are there, for example, you take of, can you tell me all the CS in Ruto's government and the majority leaders and like all those people who they have a bigger office in Ruto's government? You see, they played a bigger role in 2022. So that's why I came with that point. How are CS appointed? You say.
Yes, I think that's a good proposal, and it would be a good way of educating the people so that they make the right choices. Because as we know, the Constitution of the Republic gives that mandate to the citizens. So electing the leaders, I think that is the starting point of development or productivity in the nation. So we need to be speaking more of serious issues so that the citizen also gets to understand how serious it is for them to make the right choices. I agree with you, Eric.
May I finish? Maybe we can have another topic
Okay.
if you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've had a long chat this morning, and I just want to invite you that we do have these conversations. So if probably you have time, you can always join so that we give our views. When we give views, we educate the people, we assist the people in making the right decisions, and it is the best that we can do. So I'm
And
inviting.
don't you think the opposition like it's too late also not to name a candidate by now? Because sometimes I see them comparing uh 2027 with 202, and in 202 I think was way different from 2027.
I think they should still hold on because you understand the president is a master in issues of politics. He knows how to play it. He has done it before. He has always been smart on how, the moves that he made politically. So these people coming up, I mean, the opposition coming up with a candidate would make or would give the president enough time to calculate and to even know the next move. So for now, my advice to the opposition is they still hold on. And what they focus on is, of course, they move speaking about pertinent issues affecting the people. Let them not just move around saying that they want to send the president home without giving reasons. I mean, without telling the people what they are going to do to change their life. I think that is what they need to focus on. But again, the split that is currently there, I think it's a good one. Let Rigathi Gachagua and DCP do their campaign. Let the Wiper and their team do their campaign. Let the Linda Mwananchi do their campaign. That is going to partly confuse the people within the government. And by the time the opposition would be getting together, it would add them a mileage. I mean, it would give them a mileage. That would be my view on that.
In this case, the reason why sometimes I see they should say before is so that they can also start like I don't want to use the word marketing the candidate. Because
Yeah.
there's a same. If it was Baba, people can say, what if Baba endorsed someone else? But people know it's him. Even it was the same case in 202.
Yeah, part of the reason why Raila was stayed relevant in the field of politics and partly his allies, the likes of Kalonzo, the likes of Mudavadi and Wetangula, is the fact that it was, he learned this strategy of not disclosing his political moves to his opponents. Look at, for example, 2017. If you can remember 2017, it was not easy for the government or the people to get to know who was going to run for the presidential election. Remember, Kalonzo was there. Remember, Mudavadi was there.
To me,
Watangula
to
was
me,
there.
it was very easy. to me, it was very easy.
It wasn't. Remember, look at if you can remember keenly that particular
No.
day.
But the
Look at
analysts are the one
let me
they find it was difficult. But the stature of Baba, there's no way he could have left to someone else.
of
You
course
know?
for presidency it was
Mm.
obvious, but now for the deputy, remember, if you can keenly remember, there was Mudavadi, there was Wetangula, there was Kalonzo, there was quite a number of leaders who were eyeing. Actually, they were eyeing for presidency, and most of time when they went for these campaigns, they would speak as presidential candidates, and they were very specific, saying that I'm not going to live for anybody. And then remember the declaration that was then made. Remember Mudavadi giving the speech that today we will be having an earthquake, and by the moment they named the deputy, it was a breaking news, and people are really eager to know the next move. I think because Kenyan elections are more of emotional and tribally associated, I think my view, I'm just giving my view. My view to the opposition is they should not give their presidential candidate at this point. Let them all get to the field. Let them all speak to the people. And finally, if they have all given their views to the people, they can then sit down and come up with one presidential candidate. They can do that within 6 months to the general election. That would be my advice.
In 202, for example, Kibaki name was, it was a bit big also in terms of experience in like running for presidency. So it was kind of obvious. Not like, it's not 100% obvious, but it was obvious that if and because they had some like historical lessons from the past, so it was obvious that there's higher chance that the stronger side was Kibaki's side. And if you check in 2007, it was obvious. In 2013, it was obvious. 2017, it was obvious. And even 2022, I told many people, there's no way. I don't see Baba transferring. I knew it would be him. And even in 2027, I thought he would still run.
So
And I
let
think,
me ask you, Eric.
yeah.
Well, if it was obvious in 2002, 2007, all those years that you mentioned,
Yeah.
currently we are having in the opposition quite a number of political parties.
Yeah.
And my question would be, based on we've seen the DCP is strong, Linda Mwananchi is strong, Wiper is also strong, but Kalonzo has been a little bit, I don't know where he is. He's been away for some time. How would it, okay, up to this point, what would you say? Is it obvious on the opposition side which political party?
It's
Do you
not
see
obvious.
it is not
You know,
obvious?
the reason I was making that point is because I was saying, even if you would have waited for Baba 1 week before the general election, and then we say it is him, people will still turn up.
Yeah.
And they will accept. But right now we don't have that kind of a person. So sometimes if you wait up to that time and you say, oh, this person is going to be our
Yeah, I
presidential
get
candidate,
you might make
and then
a
others
wrong
might,
decision that would not
yes,
be
yes,
accepted.
yeah.
So they need to do it in advance so that if the people are not happy with it, they can have room to change.
Yeah, yes. Mm.
Okay, I get that. That's a good proposal as well. But okay, I think in Kenya, the constitution allows a serious campaign. I think is it a year to the general election. So all these times that we've been seeing these politicians moving around campaigning, we can call it, they have been doing it illegally. If I even saw the president the other day saying that it is not yet time for campaign. But the funny thing is, he has been campaigning. So at some point, I remember they wanted to start blocking other leaders from campaigning. I don't know which. How anyway, that is Kenya. I think Eric, we would be ending at this particular time. Maybe I'll give you a chance to give your final remarks. And
Okay.
I've also requested that you, if you find time, you can always be joining so that we proceed with these conversations.
So for me, there's one important point I would say for maybe it's an advice for those in government and for those in opposition. If you want to win, don't ignore your strongest, your stronghold. And I can give an example of many people did not analyze 2022 election. Do you know Baba in Homa Bay, despite an increment in votes, what he got in 2017, there was, I think, of maybe 1,000 or less there, decrease. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to open it as a discussion, but what I'm saying is,
They need
we
to
expect
partly
if
focus.
yes.
You're saying they need to partly focus on enlightening their stronghold. Let them not
Yeah.
assume that they've already won at their stronghold.
Yes. Because you can imagine, despite an increase in new voters,
Yeah.
you still there's a reduction in terms of what you are going to get. You see, and I challenge you to check, and you are going to see that what he got in 2022 in in 2022 in Homa Bay, and what he got in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like he got less, despite the fact that there was an increase in like the new voters,
Yeah.
voter registration. Yeah, that was my point. It's an advice to all the presidential candidates.
Yes, very well. Thank you. Thank you so much for that good observation. I think it's a very key thing that they need to look into. And yeah, as we come to an end, allow me to just take this opportunity to appreciate you, Eric. There was Msimamo and there was Brother Benson as well. Thank you so much for taking your time to come and educate and to give your views. We really, really appreciate. We are live on Kikao na Sauti and Brother Benson Media. If you're watching for the first time, we request that you kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. And as usual, we will always be grateful and say a big thank you. So, from wherever you're watching, thank you so much. Have a good time, and we hope to interact again tomorrow. So, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining us. See you again